This movie is hilarious, but it's not supposed to be. And while it's not a horrendous, unholy, obscene collection of orangutan feces, it's got its problems. And with that, it's unintentionally funny. It's a horror movie, and while there are certainly horror movie aspects about it that are okay, you can't help but laugh at the hilarious and ridiculous choices they have made here. Let's take a look. Alright, let's see what disaster we have today. Well, today we're doing Momo, a 2019 short film. It has 3 stars out of 5 and 700 reviews, so I guess that's average. How bad can it be? It's gonna suck, huh? Momo. So it starts out, this person's walking around her house, looking around. Kind of drags on for a little while, nothing happens.
3 hours earlier.
3 hours earlier. Sounds like somebody was constipated when they recorded that line. Okay, so the main character gets up and she leaves the bedroom. She goes to the bathroom to go wash her face. And that's all fine and dandy and everything. But then wait, look at here. Why is she washing her face with hand soap? You're not supposed to do that. And then when she turns around, she sees this person in the shower. And as expected, the acting is very on point, because if you live alone and you see somebody in your shower, the first thing you do is because that's the most natural reaction to having some kind of strange person in your shower when you live alone. She saw the person directly, like it's not like she saw him through the edge of her eye or anything. So a better way to have done that is to have seen some kind of shadow and kind of look like that to see if, maybe she's imagining things. But no, she's looking directly at her. And let me guess, she's gonna pull the curtain back and she's gonna disappear. Yep, how did I know that? How did I know that? Alright, so far we're off to a somewhat boring start, but this is the first part that actually was kind of funny. And I'm sure the intention was not to make it funny, but she sees the person, pulls the curtain back, there's nobody there, and pulls the curtain forward. And yet her reaction is still very calm and normal, as you expect from some kind of thing like this. Similar to the Lamageddon movie, the actors so far in this movie, which have only been one or I guess if you count the person in the shower, but the main reactions from the main actor don't match up with how it should be, and it's not realistic. If you were to see somebody in your bathroom, are you gonna have such a calm reaction like this person here? She kind of goes along around the house looking around to see if there's anything else suspicious, which again, like I mentioned, the reaction is very not convincing. We start hearing some kind of humming or music, I'm guessing from Momo or whatever. And still, she's kind of looking around the house, but you think after the experience I just had in the bathroom, she'd just get the hell out of there. Okay, so this is the first reaction in this movie that so far seems more real. But the other thing also is, now she's concerned when she wasn't concerned in the bathroom. I know I mentioned that several times, but come on, Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Let's pretend again. Hold on. Oh, it looks like shit. Look. Oh yeah, so after that hilarious encounter, she goes into the bedroom with her boyfriend or husband or whatever, and then she tells him, oh, that there's somebody in the house wearing a 99-cent mask. And so the guy is like, "Oh no, there's nobody there." He checks the cameras like, "There's nobody there." So they get up and go check afterwards.
She?
Momo is hiding in the kitchen somewhere, and when the boyfriend goes to go check,
No one's here.
it sounds like an old lady's voice. And I don't think it's supposed to be an old lady, but it just, why? Yeah, it's like that edit in Return of the Jedi, the new George Lucas one. I think it's from like the most recent Blu-ray and Disney Plus version or something. It's when at the end of Return of the Jedi, when Palpatine is hitting Luke with the lightning, and he turns to Palpatine, he's like, "No, no," and it's just I don't know why that was added in there. When we first saw it in VHS, at least when I started first on VHS, and I'm sure other people when they saw it in theaters, it was much better to see it where you didn't know what he was thinking. He was conflicted, and he threw Palpatine over the ledge, and that was the end of it. Well, until about 4 years ago, but that was the end of it. It was much more impactful like that because you weren't sure what was gonna happen. He might get him, he might not get him. He's looking at the two people, but then in the new one, as soon as you hear the no, and then there's a pause. Oh, you already know that he's gonna go against Palpatine. And he says no again, and then it's like it ruins the suspense and the surprise. So in something like this, when it's like die, it's like that kind of same thing. It's cheap, and especially with that grandma voice. Yeah. I just can't take that 99-cent mask. It looks even worse in the close-up. It's garbage. Look at that. The color of the mask is different than the color of the actor's skin. So that makes it look even more like a mask, and it's not supposed to be a mask. And why are they saying I'm choking you? Does that actually happen in real life? It looks even worse than Dollar Tree. It looks like Dollar Bush. Why does the mask look so bad? I know being on a budget doesn't allow you to do many things, but the thing is that if you're going to risk looking cheap, don't do anything that will make that happen. So to clarify, for example, if I know that if I have a character that's a goblin, but I can't afford to get goblin stuff, so therefore if I get goblin stuff like at a cheap place, it's gonna look cheap and stupid. If I'm trying to be serious, then I should avoid showing the goblin, for example. Now, if you have a budget or whatever, that's fine. But if it means showing the goblin on screen and making it look cheap because that's all you can afford, or finding creative ways to not show the goblin, therefore not exposing the cheapness of the costume, it's better to do something like that. Do a silhouette, or maybe get, do part of a goblin arm or something, whatever you can afford. There's a lot of creative ways that if you cannot show something because of cost, to imply it or to show part of it or a silhouette or something, and people can still know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's not going to be as good as if you show them directly, but also there is something to be said about doing horror, about things that you cannot see. Now, the character may see them and people in the world may see them, but there's something interesting and kind of neat about the audience not knowing exactly what it is that's attacking these people. And if you have to use a character or something like Momo or like Shrek or whatever, for example, try to find a way to disguise the fact that you don't have any budget. Okay, the only neat part of this mask, I don't even know it's a mask. It could be, animation or something. But the only neat thing is that it blinks. Supposedly, when you look at Momo pictures, it looks like just a deformed person's face. But here it looks like a mask. And the thing is, I know it's not supposed to be a mask. That's why it looks bad. Like, if it was supposed to be a mask, like, for example, Michael Myers wears a mask, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that's not his face. So, it's a cheap mask. It was like a William Shatner mask or whatever. But we know that it's a mask because that's part of the character. But I know it's not supposed to be a mask. I know it's supposed to be the face, what makes it worse. Which this is why it's bad. If it was a mask, it'd be like, okay, just a person in a mask. But I know it's not supposed to be that. So supposedly Momo goes from behind the bedroom door to inside the closet and is trying to open the door. Yeah, so she's trying to open first the door from behind, like the bedroom door from the hallway, but then now she's trying to open the closet door, so she teleports from the hallway into the closet. Momo shows up in the closet. The main character jumps out the window to escape the apartment, runs down the street, and Momo goes back into the hallway, but then comes back out of the hallway and goes out the window. So the main girl goes into her car to go exit, and then it looked like for a second the car wasn't gonna start, but that's not what happened here. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping for that. But she's in the car looking around and everything, and then Momo shows up on the side, but then it cuts out. Yeah, so that's it. We don't know what happened, so it's like Momo could have gotten her, maybe she escaped, whatever. And the thing is that it's kind of open ended, but it's not very satisfying. It could have been where it's like in other movies, creature comes out from the backseat and chokes the person, or whatever, anything you want to do. I mean, I think that's fine. That happens in movies and stuff. But she's outside the car, she can just run off, or she can turn the car on and turn around and hit her. Like, what's she doing outside? There's no threat outside, if you're in the car that's running. So that was kind of an odd ending. So it's a short movie. It was like 6 or 7 minutes. It didn't seem like it dragged on too long. Just a little bit, I mean, it wasn't too bad. Overall, this movie was an atrocious, disgusting abomination, but it wasn't, fantastic either. Alright, so now we're gonna review the movie based on its form, the elements, and if it was entertaining. The whole combined category is 10 points. What we're gonna do here, though, however, is not judge from 0 to 10. We're gonna judge from 0 to negative 10. See, when we judge good movies, we want to have 10. But here, because we want horrible, we want the atrocious, we're going to do negative 10. So we're going to judge from 0 to negative 10. Like I said, right off the bat, this movie is nowhere near the disasters of other movies or like Lamageddon or whatever. But right now, we'll go through the score and do the chart and see what the score is. So regarding its form means it's a realistic, coherent, complex, original. Well, let's go through them one by one. Realistic. I mean, everything was mostly fine except the two things. The first thing, like I said, we already know, is that mask. That's not. If it's supposed to be a mask, it's an okay mask. If it's supposed to be somebody's face, it's horrible. So, regarding realistic, that's one thing. But the other thing that's also not the greatest are the reactions from the person at first while in the shower, and a few other situations here and there. It's not the actors. The actors were actually decent. It's not the problem with that. I feel like the direction was off there, with like the shower looking like this, because I know that if I was at the house and I was alone and then somebody was in the shower, I freaked the hell out. And so, but that's not what happened. And so, with a few exceptions here and there, the realism was mostly okay, with the exception of the shower scene. But the shower scene was so not realistic that we have to discount points from there. So there's that. Coherent, was it coherent? Yeah, I say so. Momo shows up, the person gets freaked out, the boyfriend gets destroyed, and then Momo goes after the person, and the person runs out, and that's it. The only thing that wasn't too clear was the ending, but whatever. The ending doesn't have to have a complete final resolution. We could be just left wondering in suspense, so I guess that's fine. Even though I don't think it's great, I guess that's fine, so we won't discount any points for coherence. Complex, well, it's a simple movie, it's a short film. There's nothing complex about the theme or anything. You can insert complex themes into a short film, but you don't have to. But since there were none present, I just discount a point there, because there was nothing really that happened that was complex and regarding themes. It doesn't necessarily have to be themes, but like, how it's made, the complexity of the camera angles or the shots or the color, none of that. And so original, well, it's not original, let's get that out of the way. And as I discussed before, original doesn't mean that it's never been done before, but it's taking something that's been told before and presenting it in a new way. Like I mentioned before, or like Inception or whatever, you get these things, these ideas that could have been around before. Even if you get old fairy tale things, like I mentioned before, how Star Wars based stuff are fairy tales and old stories and things like that, Or Lord of the Rings, when basically any movie like that. Because if you look at it, Lord of the Rings, Gandalf and Obi-Wan, and they're the same characters. We don't think of them as the same characters, but in terms of like how they're presented or their archetypes or all that, they're the same character. Their personalities may be a little bit different, but uh, that's what it means to be original, to get old ideas and present it new. Well, it's Momo, which has been an internet thing for I don't know how long, so it's not original and it's not presented in any new way. So we'll discount from there. Now we're going to the elements. So the direction of this film was mostly okay, but again, that shower scene, it's not realistic. It's not, and we have to discount points from there because it's just that part throws off the whole movie, and so we had to discount from there. The writing and the dialogue, that was fine. Dialogue was not abysmal, was not anything like that, so it was okay. Story was all right. Editing, I mean, I guess it's fine. It's like, uh, I don't know, like with the hands when she's putting the hands underneath the door. That's not necessarily editing, but I don't know if that's supposed to be intentional. But if it is, it's confusing. Like, can she teleport? I don't know. That's not really part of editing. But if you want to include it as editing, I guess we could. But besides that, editing was okay. Like, it just, again, nothing really special overall about this movie. Nothing really is special. It's just like, okay, it's not bad, it's not great, it's just okay. So editing was fine. Sound was also just okay. But not really much to it, with the exception of the die. That was great. I mean, not really, but that was great. Music, again, it's just like everything was just kind of average. It's like music goes okay. Nothing really to it or anything. Special effects, no, we discount that. Special effects is just the makeup or that mask or whatever they use. Again, I keep talking about it over and over, but it really, like, if it wouldn't have been for the Momo mask, this movie would have just been like nothing. If it was just like some guy or something, in the hood, it just wouldn't have been as interesting or memorable. But the thing that makes this movie is that cheap mask, And again, like I said, I know it's not supposed to be a mask, so that's what makes it even better. So the story and plot, it was simple. I mean, again, nothing out of the ordinary, but I don't like how it ended like that. I mean, again, she's in the car, she could have run off, but then we were made to think like that was the end of her, so we had to discount from there because I feels like it was left unresolved when it didn't need to be. Like if you just had 10 seconds more of film and just show her driving off, okay, even if it's that, or show Momo teleporting into the car and getting her, just something. But I feel like it was unresolved and not very satisfying. The tone of the movie, the tone didn't shift all over the place like other ones do. It didn't go from comedy to drama to suspense to any of that. So that was okay. The tone was pretty much on the same page, so it wasn't too bad. Now we're gonna talk about mise en scène, everything in front of the camera that we see from the camera, the actors, the lighting, the cinematography, the prop setting, and all that stuff. So the lighting was okay. Like, it could have been better. Like, in the house, it was kind of boring looking. In some of the areas, the living room was okay, but like the bedroom looked very average and had a yellow tint to it that was not very good. So with discount points from there. Cinematography, also same thing. It looked like it was just kind of like it was recorded on a phone, but not much was done to make it not look like that. So I will discount points from there. It didn't look interesting, or nothing came out at me that was visually exciting or interesting or any of that. There were some moments that looked okay. Again, some of the hallway areas and living room parts, but other than that, that's about it. Everything was just very average. But at least there was some kind of lighting, costume. Oh, it's fine. Regular clothes. Momo wasn't anything unusual. Props, again, there's not really much. Nothing really happened. No props or anything, so it was fine. Setting, it was a house, kind of not very interesting looking house, but the house, It could have been better, but if it's regarding budget, I understand how that goes. But I feel like it could have just been made at least a little bit more interesting. Like even if you just rearrange the same things in the house a different way, it could have just been a little bit more, I don't know, suspenseful, interesting, dark, with shadows, or I don't know, something. A lot of things. I don't know. The props could have, not the props, but the setting of the house could have been made a little bit more interesting by moving around the furniture pieces and stuff in the house. It just looked kind of average, you know. So I guess we can discount from there. It could have been better, but the acting was okay. Acting was alright. There was no other part really that, besides the shower scene, that was off. It seemed fine. The makeup and the special effects. Again, like for the 80th time, the mask. It's horrible mask, horrible garbage. I mean, it just. I don't know if they were intending it, and maybe to some people it looks fine, and as a mask, it looks alright. I mean, I've seen better masks, but I know it's not supposed to be a mask, so it's just shit. So we had to discount it from there. Okay, and so now, is it fun? Yeah, it's average, but it's like amusing average. Okay, so we are going to discount points here. Is it realistic? Discount points from there. Is it coherent? Well, whatever. Complex? Discount points from there. 0.25. Is it original? 0.25 discount. Direction? 0.25 discount as well. Dialogue was okay. Editing was okay. Sound was okay. Music was okay. And okay meaning that it was not horrible. It was not good. It was just average. Special effects, definitely discount from there. Story, we discount from there. Tone, it was okay. It was pretty on tone. Mise en scène, we discount from there. Overall, mise en scène. Lighting, we discount from there too. Cinematography, we discount from there as well. Costumes were okay. Props were, I don't think there's anything, but whatever it was fine. Setting could have been better, so we discount from there. Acting was okay. Makeup, it was garbage, so we discount from there absolutely. Like I said, the thing that made this movie was the horrible face mask. It was a very average movie. We're going to discount the points, and we come up with negative 4.75. So it's just very average, very not spectacular. It's not fantastic. It's not good. I mean, it's not great. It's not in the good categories. It's just average. It's almost 5. 5 is just like I watch it. Would I watch it again? Probably not. It's very okay. And it's like, it's amusing average, it's amusing okay, but that's all it is. It's not bad enough where I can indulge in and feel very good about myself. Just, that was a good 6 minutes that I spent on it or whatever, and that's it really. Yeah, so that's about it. Let's ask Sonny, see what he thinks. He had nothing to say. Probably because it was so average and unappealing. Well, I guess that's about it. I'll see you next time for something that's even worse than this.